I slowly began to look around. Hello? Is anyone there? Rebecca? Sylvia? Please don't tell me this is like some sort of supervillain double cross or something like that. I mean, I thought we were starting to get along. If this is one of those ha-ha, I fooled you moments where you're gonna laugh maniacally, you could at least do it to my face. I called out into the massive space that I was in, hearing my voice echo through the hallways, but getting no response. Where the hell am I? If I didn't know better, this place was giving me the same vibe as the space I was in before. Is this someone else's mage space? How do I go from one to another like that? Oh no, I thought to myself as I looked around, taking stock of everything. Creepy mansion, horrifying statues and pictures on the walls. It looks high class, yet horrifying. Apparition of the night sky above. A mage space is the reflection of the person who cast it, a manifestation of their inner being, given physical form. Sylvia and Rebecca share a mage space. They're twins and have the same one, divided between heaven and earth. But there's only one other mage that I know of that's supposed to be here. Don't tell me, I thought to myself as I stared around, my eyes finally falling on one of the pictures on the wall, as I took in a small detail that I didn't before, beginning to approach and look at it more closely. The picture had a label at the bottom of it. It was the picture of a man wearing a suit of armor, old-style English, who was having his heart ripped out of his chest by a somewhat angelic-looking figure of a beautiful woman. The label on the picture was Bunny, number 375. Bunny? I said to myself as I stared down at the glowing purple rabbit affixed to my chest. Oh, that's not good. And in that moment, I realized it, starting to look from one picture to the next. All the paintings were, of course, of death, and they all had different people in them, with countless different varieties of death. Decapitation, dismemberment, heart ripped out, impaled, but there was one common thread between them. A beautiful angelic figure, looking joyous as it killed them, and a label. The label was always the same, Bunny, followed by a number. These weren't just random pictures. They were trophies, each one displaying an actual person's death, the manner in which they died, and their number in line. And worst of all, it appeared that I was next. Bunny number 4672. Oh, this is not good, I said as my heart began to pick up speed. Looking around, there's no question about it. This mage space most likely belongs to Alice, the Mad Queen, and I had been marked as her new victim. The only question was, where the hell was she? I figured that if she brought me here, she would already be here, but I don't see her anywhere, I thought to myself as I looked around, checking corners, trying to be as thorough as I could, and finding nothing. Why isn't she here? And that's when it struck me. Maybe she is. She's just not coming out yet. Whatever be the reason, she's deciding to stay put. Watch. To her, this must be some sort of game. She's hunting for rabbits, and she's caught one. I can't get out of this place. I wouldn't know how to start. So, she's free to watch to her heart's content. Like any good predator, she's measuring up her prey. She wants to get a read on me, figure out how I work, what makes me tick. Hell, based on this place, she might even be trying to figure out exactly how she wants to kill me. It almost feels like she's building a collection, seeing how many different ways she can kill people, which does not bode well for me. According to Rebecca and Sylvia, my chances against Alice were basically nil, and that was even with Victor backing me up. All by myself, the odds don't look good. Currently, the only thing working my advantage is that she hasn't outright attacked me yet, but there's no telling how long that's gonna hold out. I looked over, seeing a big set of double doors. I was in an entryway. In any sort of normal structure, doors would lead to the outside, to freedom, so to speak. But I'm in a mage space, right? So, what the hell's past the door? I doubt it's a clean getaway. Okay, this doesn't look good. Don't start planning to run. That might just be what she wants. The last thing I need is to get the game started. I'm definitely in no condition to tangle with her. So, how about negotiation? I thought to myself as I looked around. Miss Alice, right? I really don't know whether you're aware of this or not, but I was actually having a bit of a chat with your daughters, I exclaimed out into the empty rooms. I know this might seem a bit far-fetched, but we actually kind of came to an understanding, and I was about to leave peacefully. Me and Rebecca have actually become somewhat of friends. It's still a little weird, but everything seems to be working out between us. So we were going to head out on our way. So if there's any way we could avoid this, I'd really prefer that option. And not just because I don't think that I can take you, or because I'm scared. I know you probably have every reason to believe I'm just making it up. But if it is worth anything, I am telling the truth. I'm sort of a superhero. Truth is highly recommended when you're a superhero. You know, whole truth and justice thing. I exclaimed, my voice once again echoing through all of the hallways, bouncing off of the walls, and getting no response. Ugh, I sighed deeply. Okay, was really hoping that would work. But it looks like she's still playing the silent game. Quite frankly, I don't know whether that's better or worse than her just coming out and attacking me. And this place gives me the heebie-jeebies. What am I supposed to do? Just stand here? Walk around aimlessly? It's a mage space. I can't leave, I said as I crossed my arms and began to look ahead to the grand staircase leading up to the second floor. I was just about to begin making my way towards it, lowering my arms and taking a single step, as suddenly I felt a chill go up my spine. Like the temperature in the room suddenly dropped. I began feeling as if I was getting goosebumps, tingly all over. An intense feeling of nervousness, anxiety, fear that began to build, becoming more intense with each passing second, as I felt like I was frozen in place, like I couldn't move. Surely enough, physically I could. But it was almost like every bone in my body was scared to move a single inch. An overwhelming fear coursing through me. There was no reason to suspect it. I didn't hear any sound. I didn't see anything. There was no inclination at all that would tell me that the information that I was experiencing, the sensation that I was getting was right. And yet all the same, it felt just as real as staring someone directly in the eyes. Even more so, terrifyingly real. The sensation that someone was standing right behind me, and it was terrifying. Suddenly, fear was all I could feel. Overwhelming fear, as if I could feel the blood in my veins growing colder. And suddenly, it was as if I could hear my inner voice speaking to me. Run, 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 the voice began to exclaim over and over again. You have to run. You have to run. Run now. If you don't run, you'll die. Run! The voice screamed at me from inside as I felt trembles through my body, my hands twitching ever so gently as I felt tension flowing through me, overwhelming tension, as my heart pounded in my chest and that voice just kept screaming in my head, run, 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 as in the moment I managed to push my way through it. I have no idea how, but somehow I gained enough control over myself, pressing past the fear, and in a single motion, I whirled around, throwing a punch as hard as I could directly behind me. As I did, I heard the cracking of tile floor as 2 feet pressed into it, the force of the impact strong enough to drive the figure's feet down, and yet they remained unflinching. Right there, standing behind me, a calm expression on her face, a warm, by all appearances, very sweet smile, a beautiful woman with long flowing blonde hair, stood smiling as she gripped my wrist. Wow, you're a pretty brave guy. Usually when I do that, they always run. I've asked a few people about it. Well, the ones that lasted long enough. According to them, some of them experience a voice. Some of them claim that the voice tells them that they're going to die, or that it's hopeless, despair. Some of them just claim that they hear screaming. But regardless of what they claim they hear, most of them always run. In fact, only about 20 people have actually responded by trying to attack. Most people just run. But only the really brave ones actually manage to fight their way through it. Alice, I exclaimed as I stood there, my wrist in her grasp, my heartbeat still pounding in my chest as I stared her smiling face down. What the hell was that? What did you do to me? Do to you? She said, cocking her head with a curious expression. Oh, I didn't do anything. I just stood behind you. That's all. I don't know for any amount of certainty, but according to people in the know, they say it's got something to do with my soul. You know, they claim that spiritual intent, it can actually pass from one person to another. That one person can feel another person's determination, or joy, or happiness, even their despair, just depending on how strong that desire is, that emotion or feeling that emotes from their soul. And so your soul naturally responds itself. It senses the intentions of my soul, and so just like if you were perceiving someone who felt sad, and your soul was compelled to feel empathy or understanding as a response to that sadness, you experienced what my soul was putting off without any words or communication. Your soul felt my desire and intention and responded in the natural way that you would if I were to tell you my desire and intention out loud. Get it? She said, smiling brightly in my direction, still an ever so happy expression on her face. Beautiful, friendly in appearance, and yet the ironclad grip on my wrist as I tried to pull away, finding it impossible to move even an inch. I was bigger than her, and not by a small margin. I at least had 5 inches on her, and 100 pounds or so. I was wearing a freaking armor suit, and I have superhuman strength. And yet, no matter how hard I pulled, my arm wouldn't come free. Her fingers wrapped around it didn't even flinch. It didn't even look like she was struggling. She just kept that happy-go-lucky smile, her other hand tucked behind her back, as if it was effortless. She didn't need the other hand to hold me. And the longer that went on, every single instant of it, I could feel the fear building. The smile on her face was a lie. No, not a lie. Horror on top of the truth. The smile was real. She had every intention of killing me, and was going to enjoy the experience. Her happy-go-lucky attitude was genuine in death, which only made it all the more horrifying.